and welcome to Hero Power. I'm your host, Avanties, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Zerotio.
You are not prepared.
I don't know, a lot of people were prepared for what we got this week. I think we had a lot of speculations, and I don't think any of us nailed it.
No, I mean, obviously there was some leaked stuff, so we can't really count some of that.
Right.
Aside from speculations based on leaks, no, I don't. I mean, yeah, there's it. I'm amazed. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, me too. We got a lot to cover today, so
much that we're not gonna do a play portion, but don't fret, video viewers. We do have a lot of stuff to show on the podcast today. A lot of images that you'll want to see, and we'll make sure to describe it very well for our audio listeners.
Yeah, so for you audio listeners, this may be a little longer episode than you're used to.
Yep.
So
I know Goldie will definitely be excited that we'll have a long episode this week. He's been begging me for long episodes. Long audio episodes, that is.
All right. Well, I think with that said, we have no emails or comments this week and no iTunes reviews, so I think we just jump right into it. What do you say?
Yeah.
Rocio?
Let's just get it.
All right. Well, we are entering Hearthstone in 2020. This past week, we had the Hearthstone Showcase live stream featuring Chad Narvig, Dean Ayala, and Brian Kibler. And they released a lot of information that we're going to kind of recap for you guys here today.
At first, I want to say seeing Brian Kibler back in official Blizzard productions is just a breath of fresh air. He, especially when it comes to reveal season, he's always very diligent about making sure we're getting as much information about cards or about mechanics as possible. He asks the hard questions. He thinks of things on the fly that could or could not interact weird and make sure to bring those questions up. And we also got to see Ben Lee for the first time on an official broadcast, and gone from one Ben that we loved, and I think this is another Ben that we're going to love. He seems to really, really want to do what's best for the players, and even to the point, as we'll talk about in some of these this news coming out, at the deficit of some income, some profit margins by Blizzard, in my opinion. We'll just have to see how they play out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first off, we did get the official word that this is going to be the Year of the Phoenix. And just like in years past, we will have 3 new expansions this year. The first of which we are excited to announce is the Ashes of Outland. So,
yes. Now, real quick, let's talk about this image. Usually we get this image first before we hear the first set, which isn't the case this time. But we do get to the teasers of Expansion 2 and Expansion 3. I'll be honest, Expansion 2 seems... I have no clue what this could be. And Expansion 3 looks Dark Moon Fairish to me.
I see Expansion 2 as dark and Expansion 3 is the exact opposite light. So I think whatever those may be, counter off of each other, but we'll have to wait. Like you said, it's really hard to tell just from these images, but it's exciting. I'm really excited about 2020 so far.
And for people wanting to know our thoughts, we will be speculating more on these images probably in the next, let the set come out in a month or so when the second set starts creeping up on us. We will bring these images back and speculate a little more. But I just thought it would be nice to kind of point out that they're doing this again, and I like it because it allows us to kind of get creative and try to predict things and be totally wrong.
All right, well let's jump right into it. So First up, they did give us a Year of the Phoenix roadmap that breaks down all three phases of this year. Phase 1, of course, is the one we are in or entering into right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really exciting because it has the most things available to it. So I'm going to run down what's available in Phase 1, and then we'll break them down a little bit and talk about it. Now, there are 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14 items available in Phase 1. 2 of them are still unknown to us. They're on the roadmap as spell locked, so we don't know what those 2 items are yet. We'll have to wait and see. But what we do know is we're getting the new expansion, Ashes of Outland. We're getting some new card mechanics that we're going to talk about. New tavern brawls. New updates to Battlegrounds, a new adventure, a new seasonal event. We're getting balance updates. We're getting free class decks. We're getting duplicate protection across all cards that we'll talk about. We're getting a rank revamp that we're going to talk about. Some cards moving to Hall of Fame and priest class updates, all happening in this first phase.
Yeah, and we'll be talking more about this, including the 2 spell locked sections in just a minute. But I wanted to talk about Phase 2 and 3. Obviously, they're kind of lining up for the next set. So Phase 2 is going to be in for the second set of the year, and then Phase 3 into the third set. But we see some interesting changes in here. Obviously, more card mechanics, Battlegrounds changes, but we see a new play mode in Phase 2, a new game mode. And they say it's going to be along the lines of a limited format, kind of like Arena. So we're going to have a lot to be excited for come August time when the second set's coming out. Maybe even before then, because Phase 2 may start a little bit before the next set comes out. So, or it could be after. We'll see. But I'm really excited. I'm really excited about what's happening in Phase 1.
So real quick, some high-level speculation. One of the spell lock things that we're getting ready to talk about is a new class coming to Hearthstone. Do you think the spell locked thing in Phase 2 and one of the spell locked things in Phase 3 could be a new class each phase?
Ooh, that'd be interesting because there are 3 classes in World of Warcraft that aren't represented in the original Hearthstone. One being Demon Hunter, which, as we kind of said, is going to be in this phase. And then we do have Monk and Death Knight, which we've seen Death Knight, but it was kind of a mechanic, not so much a class identity. So maybe that would be really, really cool.
Could a year from now we have 12 classes in the game? That would be really interesting. So
yeah, and it would be symmetrical. So
yeah.
I like symmetry.
All right. So moving on to, as we talked about Phase 1, we are getting the Demon Hunter class. And we are getting that Demon Hunter deck that is coming with the class. So lots of new things, exciting. Excited about Phase 1 to see what all we have coming. So let's talk about this rank revamp first of all. So traditionally, those of you who have played for a while, or even those of you who may be new to the game, are probably familiar with the rank 50 to 25 being kind of a tutorial, learn to play, and then rank 25 to legend being what's typically been known as the ladder. Well, they are revamping how this works. We are now going to kind of a more traditional PvP style that you may have seen in other games, where you're going to have a bronze ladder, a silver ladder, a gold ladder, a platinum ladder, and a diamond ladder,
which they're
before
referring
you.
to. They're referring to those as leagues,
Okay.
which may be why they've been so tight on allowing organizations to use the word league.
Okay. That's true. They did force people to change their names if they were using league. So that very
Yep.
well could be why that happened. But each league, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond, will have 10 ranks inside that league. So I'm guessing people will start at bronze 10 and
Mhm.
work their way up to bronze 1, and then they will transition from bronze 1 to silver 10 and start that climb again, and then gold 10 to gold 1, platinum 10 to platinum 1, diamond 10 to diamond 1 before transitioning into legend as they have done in the past. So this really seems to open it up. You've got 50 ranks basically now before legend.
Yeah, and approximately 150 stars, which sounds very daunting until you find out exactly how this works. Now, first we'll talk about the rank floors. You are going to have rank floors just like you have now. They're going to be every rank at rank 10, every league at rank 10, ranks 5, and of course at legend. So once you hit rank 10 and once you hit rank 5, you will never drop below that in that season. Also, very interesting enough is at the end of the season, every player will go back to bronze 10. Whether you were still at bronze 10 or you got legend, every player starts at bronze 10. Now, this seems very daunting and it seems like, oh, wow, I'm going to have to play legend players. They did assure that matchmaking is not going to be done just by your league rank, but by your MMR. So if a legend player goes back to bronze 10, they're going to be matched up with other players that are similar MMR, similar play skill as them. So other legend players, other people that have made close to that rank. Also, win streaks will go all the way up to Diamond 5, similar to how it goes all the way up to rank 5 now. So you will able to get your win streaks. Also, they're changing the way you get stars. Um, it's a little up in the air exactly what you're going to be considered this first month, but when you go back to bronze 10, you will get so many stars based on what your previous rank was. Up to a maximum at high legend of 11 stars.
Okay.
So if you were a high legend, probably top 200 legend at the end of the season, and you go to bronze 10 and you win your first game, you're going to go up 11 stars. So you're going to shoot up the ranks. Obviously, for listeners of this show, you're probably going to end up being around the platinum 10 to diamond 5 ranks, and that should be anywhere from 7 to 9 stars respectively, per win if you're in that range. And again, a lot of the details we're just going to have to learn as we play it, but you'll never lose those bonus stars for that season. A loss you'll lose 1 star, and a win streak will double your stars. So if you're getting, say, 5 stars on a win, and get on a win streak, you'll all of a sudden start getting 10 stars.
Yeah.
So this actually this may be something they have to change the algorithm for, because I suspect a lot of your players that consistently get what we call Dad Legend, which is rank 5 now, will probably shoot into Legend, and possibly players that have just missed Legend before will be able to get to Legend easier.
Well, and that's the thing. Cora, who used to be on Coin Concede, she now works for Blizzard. She tweeted that this system is specifically created to help people get to Legend a little easier. And she said that in their internal testing, they had people get to Legend with just over a 50% win rate.
Wow. Wow.
So,
Now, the good thing that I see in this is I'm consistently getting to rank 5 to 1, and even legend sometimes. But at the beginning of the month, I start at rank 4 or 5, and I have to play other legend players. And usually I won't play for the first 3 days because I want to get those legend players past me. Well, now not only will I have a chance of not being matched up against them because our MMRs are different, but even if I do have a chance to get matched up against them, they likely will be getting anywhere from 10, 11 stars to 22 stars per win. And I did the math and factored that if you were getting 11 stars per win from high legend finish, you could actually go 17-0 at the beginning of the season and get legend.
wow.
Now,
Okay.
I don't suspect anyone will do that, but it's possible. So that tells me those legend players are just going to shoot up to gold, platinum within the first couple hours
Right.
of play, and I'm not going to have to deal with them.
Right. Right. Okay, let's move on to the next slide here. So yeah, this is ranking up, kind of what we were just talking about.
Yes.
The rewards now. If you make legend, you'll get one pack of the latest expansion. The first time you get legend under this new system, you'll also receive one random classic legendary card.
Yeah, and this looks like, from what I could tell, I didn't find anything concrete on it, that everybody that's playing right now in April will get the first time rewards.
Yeah.
So these are a lot of rewards, and they've changed the way that your reward system is. You will get your end of season rewards at the end of the season, like you do your chest now. However, all you have to do is get 5 ranked wins to earn your card back, and you get the card back immediately.
Oh, wow.
You don't get your card back at the end of the month, which I always thought was silly because you would have like a pumpkin-themed card back for November to celebrate Halloween, but you can't even use it.
November.
You don't even get it till the end, till the next month. So it's really nice that you get your card backs immediately, which I always thought you should in the first place. But this is a lot of rewards, even down to just like cards.
So let's run them down packs for the people listening. Diamond 5 gets one random standard epic pack, or a standard epic card at the end of the season, and one classic pack for making it to Diamond 5. Diamond 10 gets one of the latest expansion pack at the end of the season, and one random classic epic card for the first time. Platinum 5 gets 2 random standard rare cards at the end of the season, and one classic pack for making it to Platinum 5 the first time. Platinum 10 gets one of the latest expansion pack at the end of the season, and one random classic epic card the first time they make it there. If you make it to Gold 5, you'll get 2 random standard rare cards at the end of the season, and a classic pack for getting there the first time. Gold 10 will get one of the latest expansion pack at the end of the season, plus 4 random classic rare cards for getting there the first time. Silver 5 will get 2 random standard rare cards at the end of the season, and one classic pack for the first time. Silver 10 will get the latest expansion pack at the end of the season, and 4 random classic rare cards for getting there the first time. And Bronze 5 will get 1 standard rare card at the end of the season, and 1 classic pack for getting there the first time. So there's the opportunity for 5 classic packs for going all the way up to Diamond 5 the first time, and then various rewards for the end of the season. This is pretty interesting.
And we kind of mentioned it at the top of the show because I didn't make a slide on it, but they've changed the way you get your cards now. So you you have a rule now that you will not open any duplicate legendaries. Well, now you will not open any duplicates of any rarity when you open your pack or you get rewards. So, in these rewards where you get like 2 random standard rare cards, if you have any rare cards that you don't have, it will prioritize those and won't give you any duplicates. This is a huge quality of life change because that means you're not going to have as many dead cards out of your packs and out of your rewards. You're actually going to save money in the form of either gold or real money if you spend real money on the game. You're not going to have tons of. I don't know how many times I've opened up, a whole bundle, and I've got so many duplicate rare and epic cards, but I have a lot of rare and epics I don't have any of. And sometimes I have to craft them for decks and whatnot because I never opened them. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. Once you get your 2 copies of the common, rare, or epic cards, you will not open that card again until you have all the copies in that pack or in that reward. So in the case of the 2 random standard rare cards, they will not be duplicates unless you have all the rares in standard.
Okay. Let's also talk about the new and returning players. Starting March the 26th. So that's this coming week. That's when this duplicate protection goes into place. But all new and returning players will also get a free deck of the class of their choice.
Yeah, this is big. If you haven't played in, I think it's 4 months, and you're thinking about coming back, just wait until the 26th, after the most recent update. So usually it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon for Eastern time, and then get back in because you will get a competitive deck of the class of your choice. Now, what's competitive? According to Cora on Twitter, it will be a competitive deck, one that is in the client where you build it builds you a deck. It'll be one of those decks.
Okay.
Which one? I don't know. It might even be random, but it will give you a competitive deck that can be used to climb the ladder. And knowing some of the team members on Team 5 now, I'm pretty sure the deck will be pretty good.
Cough, cough, Chalky, cough, cough.
Yeah, Chalky, it was Kit Kats,
yeah,
Cora,
there's some really good deck builders on Team 5.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to the Hall of Fame. So
this is big.
This is huge. So, recently announced the 5 neutral cards moving to the Hall of Fame this year are Leroy Jenkins, Mountain Giant, Mind Control Tech, Acolyte of Pain, and Spellbreaker. Holy crap. So let's take them one at a time. Obviously, players have been calling for Leroy Jenkins to be moved to the Hall of Fame for years now. Mostly because Blizzard stopped printing cards with charge about 2 years ago. So, what are your thoughts about Leroy being moved to the Hall of Fame?
Well, I mean, a lot of people, you're kind of hot or cold on this choice. I like that he's moving to the Hall of Fame because it allowed for too many seemingly unfair combos to happen where you just lose, just about at any given point.
You don't like you don't like getting hit by Leroy, having Leroy shadow stepped and getting hit by Leroy again, and then shadow stepped and getting hit by Leroy again? Come on, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's especially now that you can get a free Leroy so that you can do it 3 times in one turn. But I think Leroy's safe. Now, I was with you. I believed it was because they don't like charge, which makes me think, why didn't they do Stone Tusk Boar? There are other charge minions. But, and we'll talk about this in later episodes in the future, they are printing a charge card in the new set.
Yes, they are.
And they made sure in the stream that they talked about Hearthstone in 2020 to tease us that there will be a charge card printed in the set. Teaser, it's a class card for Demon Hunter, so it's not a neutral card. And I think the unfairness comes to the fact that it is a neutral card and can basically benefit from any unfair combination out of all the classes. So maybe they continue to use charge as a mechanic, but just limit it to specific class cards with certain mechanics that maybe they can't break as well.
Yeah.
I am surprised that, surprised on a couple things, but Edwin's not on this list. Neither is Shadow Step, and there's no class cards other than Priest, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
It's all neutrals other than Priest.
That's correct. So, also, Mountain Giant. Now, Mountain Giant is the 12 mana 8/8, costs 1 less for each other card in your hand. It was a staple in decks like Handlock, and so to see this card getting moved, I thought was kind of a surprise. What are your thoughts, Zerotio?
So there are some people that believe that giants once really existed in real life on Earth, and just slowly over time became mythical creatures because they slowly were eradicated. And we realize it must have been Blizzard doing the eradicating to make giants extinct, because they're slowly getting rid of all the giants. I like the play style of Mountain Giant. I like hand style decks with Hand Mage or Hand Lock. I'm gonna miss Mountain Giant, but at the same time, it does all these cards limit their design space. They can't do a lot of things that have long-term games that want you to grind out a control-y style with Mountain Giant, because that control player could just hoard cards in their hand and have huge pressure, as well as still their control tools. So this kind of taking Mountain Giant away makes those control players decide, what do you want to do to win the game? You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Mind Control Tech, which has been a staple since the very beginning of Hearthstone, going all the way back to 2013. It's the 3 mana 3/3. If your opponent has 4 or more minions, take control of one at random. Not sure I see why this one's being moved to the Hall of Fame. Do you have any insight?
Again, design space. Obviously, this was a huge tech card against board flooding aggro decks, and Demon Hunter, as we'll talk about more in the future and into future episodes, is more board floody style kind of Zerg minions. So I'm kind of glad Mind Control Tech is being taken in the Hall of Fame. I think the place for it is Wild. I think Wild has great use for this, because you cheat a lot of really big minions on the board and not so much just zerging the board like you do in Standard. But at the same time, it's another tech card that's going away, and I hope they give us more cards in the future sets. They did say that these Hall of Fame cards, they want to use these type of mechanics specifically for, class cards in sets going forward. So maybe we find something that's similar to Mind Control Tech in a control style class like Priest that does something similar.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have one of players' favorite draw engines in the Acolyte of Pain. So, mages love to be able to ping this card. Warriors love to be able to AoE damage this card to draw. And now that draw engine is being taken away. What are your thoughts here, Zerotio?
This one I'm really going to miss. Now, they did, again, kind of reassure us that a specific card draw is going to be added to classes to kind of fill this emptiness. And I really hope so, because I loved Acolyte of Pain. I loved that it was a neutral card draw that was versatile and kind of fit that role in just about all my control classes. This is probably the one I'm going to miss the most because whenever I'm going to build a control deck, it's like, okay, well, Acolyte of Pain's going in here. That's my first draw card that I'm going to put in here. What other draw card do I want? And then I can choose whether I want to go the Loot Hoarder route or Novice Engineer, but I always start with Acolyte of Pain.
Okay. The last card on this list, which I think also surprised a lot of people, was Spellbreaker. Spellbreaker is one of the few neutral silence cards out there. There's only a couple of them, and this one saw quite a lot of play. So now it's being moved to the Hall of Fame. Thoughts here?
There's only one non-conditional silence in neutral after this, and that is Ironbeak Owl. So, but the difference in Ironbeak Owl is it's 3 mana for a 2/1, so you definitely get it in reduced stats for that big powerful silence. And Spellbreaker 4 mana 4/3, that's a pretty good body considering the effect that you're getting. And since they're printing more and more powerful death rattles and static effects on minions, Spellbreaker's value for 4 mana was just through the roof.
Yeah.
You could probably put this up to like 6 mana and people would play it. In metas that relied on that kind of stuff. So if what they're saying is accurate and they're going to put more class cards to fill this role of Spellbreaker, maybe it'll be fine. But it will definitely be missed as a neutral card.
Yeah, I agree. It was good. It saw quite a lot of play. Moving on, we have 6 cards from the Priest class alone being Hall of Famed.
And before we get into the Hall of Fames themselves, the cards, Priest is pretty much getting an overhaul. They're getting rid of a lot of cards they think don't fit the class identity of Priest and Standard, and they've reassured us again that some of these class cards in Priest will be replaced with more rotation specific type things. So your shadow effects, with like Shadow Form and Akanai Soul Priest, your damaging effects we'll probably see cards like that in the sets, is what they're saying. We haven't seen a lot of Priest cards for Ashes of Outland yet, so we'll just have to see.
Yeah. So as you said, Akanai Soul Priest and Shadow Form are being Hall of Famed. Holy Fire is being Hall of Famed. Divine Spirit, double a minion's health. This card has seen a lot of play in the last couple of years. It's being removed. Northshire Cleric, probably the most staple card in the game for Priest, is being Hall of Famed. And for the first time, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the first time a classic class legendary is being Hall of Famed.
I want to say you're right. I think that's correct.
And Prophet Velen.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I mean,
Prophet Velen.
This is huge.
It is, and notice what's not on here: Inner Fire. So
Correct.
they still want that whole style of have big health statted minions and equal amount with like a Lady in White or Inner Fire. The problem was it restricted how big they could make it, because if you make it too big, you just Divine Spirit Inner Fire and you win the game.
Right.
So they want to be able to rein that in a bit. And I like all of these cards going to Hall of Fame. Honestly, Holy Fire hasn't seen a lot of play recently.
Yeah.
Shadow Form's seen almost none. Akanai Soul Priest, I think it's been 2 years since there's been an Akanai Soul Priest relying deck, and we've seen a lot of Priest cards in sets that mimic this ability. So maybe they feel why have Akanai Soul Priest in the classic set when we're going to print cards that do that effect anyways. So.
Right.
And then Prophet Velen, what they said is they like Prophet Velen's like theme and his style of play. The problem is most players only used him for a finisher instead of trying to keep him on the board and utilizing the effect over a course of multiple turns or sustain, a comeback mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
It's just done as used as a combo finisher. And that's the kind of cards they don't think they like that type of interpretation of the priest class. So I'm really interested to see what direction they go with the priest class and what they want us to do with priest, because they're clearly saying they want it to be a control style class, and right now it has been just a combo style class.
Right. So let's talk about some of the new priest cards that are going to replace the Hall of Fame cards.
I'm excited for these. First off,
so first up, we have the Psychic Conjurer. It's a 1-mana, 1/1 battle cry. Copy a card in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. This almost sounds like a rogue ability to me. This is awesome.
It's less. The rogue value was getting that type of card in your hand as an extra tool. The value for this minion is getting the knowledge of what your opponent has in their deck. So it's not just giving you a card of their class. They're giving you a copy of a card in their deck. So if you play this and get, say, a Malagos, you're like, oh, right, they're a Malagos deck.
Right.
Or you happen to get one of their themed Galacrons, then you know it's a Galacron deck. So, and the fact that you get this knowledge on a 1-mana 1/1 body, so it's not slowing your curve down, and it's something you can know right at the beginning of the game. Is really huge for ladder. I don't suspect we'll see this in competitive play much, and that hurts me. And there's a reason for it. That hurts me because most ladder decks are based off competitive decks. But the reason we won't see it in competitive decks because most of those competitive formats and Masters Tour qualifiers are open deck format, so you won't need the knowledge of what's in your opponent's deck. But I think on the ladder, if you're playing a competitive deck, but then you want that little bit of edge on the ladder for not knowing what your opponents are playing necessarily, especially the first couple weeks of a set coming out, put this in your deck, and that might help you out.
Yeah. Next up, we have a spell called Power Infusion. It's a 4-mana, give a minion +2/+6.
Yeah, so this is Velen's Chosen without the +1 spell power, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the +1 spell power was always inconsequential with that card, and this is a way that you can increase the health of a minion and be able to interfire it without, it being broken like Divine Spirit. Okay. I like it.
All right, next up we have the Kultiran Chaplain. He's a 2-mana, 2/3 battle cry. Give a friendly minion +2 health. So this is very similar, minus the card draw. But it's a 2/3 body.
This is, and we'll get to that minus the card draw a little bit. But I mean, obviously Priest is wanting to do butt stuff and get those butts of your minions nice and big. And I think this will be. I know Ridiculous Hat will really like this card.
Does he like doing butt stuff with priests?
Well, he likes big butts that he cannot lie.
Oh, okay.
So.
No,
seriously. A 2-mana 2/3 that gives 2 health. I mean, this is kind of that curve that this is going to be foreign to priest players. Is having the tempo style of play. And I'm really excited to see how this goes. I worry it's not going to be successful.
All right. Next up, we have the Scarlet Subjugator, who's a 1-mana 2/1 battle cry. Give an enemy minion -2 attack until your next turn. So that's an interesting battle cry ability.
Yeah, I mean, it can allow it to be Shadow Madness. It could allow it to the Kabbalist. I can't remember the name of it, but he takes the 2 health or 2 attack or less minion, takes control of it.
Yeah.
I mean, these are cards that haven't been played in the meta in a while, but maybe that's the way Priest is going to go, and I kind of like it.
Yeah, yeah. Next up, we have a new shadow word, and that is
Huge.
Shadow Word Ruin. This is an epic spell, 4 mana, destroy all minions with 5 or more attack.
Yeah. So this is the Death Knight Anduin in a spell, and this kind of makes me go back to was it Light Bomb? Bomb days.
Light Bomb dealt damage, minions attack to each minion. So,
except this can get even bigger minions. So
right,
and you can play a bunch of minions that are 4 or less attack and might have a lot of health, and not worry about this killing them. So, yeah, I think this will be another staple. All of these cards so far, I think Priest will use in various decks. Now, obviously, not all of them in one deck, but
right.
They all have their homes in various theoretical decks, depending on what the new set holds for them.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we have Natalie Celine. She is an 8 mana, 8/1 Priest legendary with Battle Cry, destroy a minion, gain its health. So again, this seems like it's targeted towards that building a big toughness stat. You know, you target somebody like Ysera and kill a Ysera, and now all of a sudden you've got an 8/12 for 8.
She's everything Vol'jin wished he was.
Oh.
Vol'jin was good, but you still had to figure out how to deal with that minion in one way or another. This is removal. This is kind of like Flick in Rogue. Sure, Flick's ability to get rid of all the other copies in their hand and their deck is nice, but ultimately it's single target removal, and that's what she is. She's now expensive single target removal, but she comes with a very big body.
Okay.
I mean, 8 attack alone, even if she only has 4 or 5 health, 8 attack, that they have to deal with it that turn, or they're going to take a bunch of face damage.
All right. So let's move on. There are some changes coming to existing Priest cards. Power Word Shield is now going to be a 0 mana, give a minion +2 health.
No card draw.
No card draw. That's correct. Shadow Word Death is now going to be 2 mana instead of 3. Destroy a minion with 5 or more attack.
Yep.
Holy Smite is now going to be a 1 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion instead of deal 2 damage.
And it's to a minion, so you can't go to face.
Can't go face.
Honestly, 3 damage is a good break point. 1 mana, 3 damage to a minion is pretty big.
Yeah. Holy Nova is down to 4 mana from 5. It still does 2 damage to all enemy minions and restores 2 health to all friendly. Shadow
and it's like Consecration now. It kind of balances up to what Consecration is.
It really is. Yeah, that's a good
Except
point.
it doesn't hit your opponent's face.
Yeah. Shadow Madness is now a 3 mana, gain control of an enemy minion with 3 or less attack until end of turn.
My hot take is this is going to be probably the most played of the changed cards.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then we've got Temple Enforcer. Now, this used to be the 6 mana, 6/6, give a friendly minion 3 health. Now it's a 5 mana, 5/6.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Good change.
Yeah. And then you've got Thought Steal. Now, Thought Steal is now a 2 mana, used to be 3. Copy 2 cards in your opponent's deck and add them to your hand.
Again, another good tool to get information. At 3 mana was a little heavy, but at 2 mana, it's a great 2-card premium draw.
So turn 1, play Psychic Conjurer. Turn 2, play Thought Steal. Now you have 3 cards from your opponent's deck to help you decide what they're playing.
Yep.
So, all right.
Good news.
That brings us to the big news, the new class, the Demon Hunter, including the new hero, Illidan Stormrage.
One thing I want to, and I totally misspelled Stormrage here, but I am on the fly. One thing I want to point out is Illidan Stormrage, the new Demon Hunter class, is not a feature coming with the new set. The new set is going to have Demon Hunter class cards, just like it will have all the other classes. But Demon Hunter is not something new with the new set. It is something new that's happening just before the new set comes out. It is a separate thing, and I'm really excited they're doing this. I didn't expect them to. Did you think they were going to add a new class anytime soon? I thought
did
maybe
not. I honestly, we've talked in past expansions about a new class. Will we ever see a new class? Why aren't we getting a new class? To actually have them do it blew my mind, because it's always kind of been like an inside running joke that, hey, we'll get a new class. To actually have it happen just kind of blew my mind.
So let's just break down what the Demon Hunter is. And we're not going to go into a lot of details this week, because we're actually going to talk about the new Demon Hunter class as a whole, as well as the basic and initiate cards in next week's episode. So we'll just break it down. The new hero power is Demon Claws. It's 1 mana, get +1 attack this turn. So it's like half the druid
the cost of a druid, half the ability.
Yeah. The class ability for Demon Hunters is going to be Outcast. Now, again, this isn't a class ability for the new set. This is like Combo and Overload. It is the core class identity, and it's called Outcast. And it doesn't affect when you play a card from the left or right side of your hand. So the far left or far right side, if it has Outcast, will have an additional effect. The class is going to be a weapon-based class with emphasis on minion combat. And then basic and initiate cards are going to be awarded from a prologue that we're going to get April the 2nd. That's like, what, 10 days away? 11 days away?
Yeah, so let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days from now.
So on April the 2nd, when you log in, after they do the update, you'll be able to play a prologue, which is a story of Illidan, and they made sure to kind of say that while it's the story of Illidan, it's taken from Illidan's side, so it might be a little biased. And completing the prologue will unlock the basic cards, which are like the cards that are in the basic set, and the initiate cards. They're not adding cards to the classic set. It's going to be its own set of cards called initiate cards for Demon Hunter. And according to Dean Ayala, they're going to be considered as part of Year of the Dragon. So it sounds like they will rotate when Year of the Dragon rotates out, which seems a little weird to me, but I'm sure we'll get more detail on that. But that tells me they're willing to reprint more initiate cards as the years go on. So look forward to that. And then the Demon Hunter class will be playable playable on the ranked ladder on April 7th, which is the day that Ashes of Outland is going to release.
Yeah. So, as we mentioned, Ashes of Outland is the name of the new expansion, and it will be available, as Zerotio just said, on April the 7th. We are getting a new mechanic with Ashes of Outland, as they have done in the past. This one is called Prime. So whenever a minion or card with Prime dies, you shuffle the Prime version of the card into your deck. And then the Prime is like a super powered version. So the example we have is Kargath Blade Fist. He's a legendary warrior minion. He's a 4-mana 4/4 rush with Death Rattle. Shuffle Kargath Prime into your deck. So Kargath Prime is an 8-mana 10/10 with Rush. Whenever this attacks and kills a minion, gain 10 armor. So you can see it's just a super powered up version.
That's huge.
Of Kargath. That's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
So, yeah, that's the new mechanic coming with Ashes of Outland. I'm sure we will see more from the Prime side of things to come. We're also getting Dormant is coming back in the form of Imprisoned Demons. So, the example they gave us was the Imprisoned Observer. It's a 3-mana 4/5 mage demon. It's dormant for 2 turns. So if you guys remember, we've had dormant cards in the past. They just take up a space on the board. They cannot be interacted with in any way, shape, or form. So this, when you play it, will go dormant for 2 turns. When it awakens, it deals 2 damage to all enemy minions.
Yes, and there's more powerful dormant minions have been revealed, and they're really strong. Their cost to stat differential is huge, because obviously 3-mana 4/5 is big on its own, and the fact that it has this ability when it awakens. So when it's going to awaken on your turn after 2 turns, so it's going to happen on your turn. As far as I can tell, there's not a way to awaken a minion early. But again, we haven't seen all the cards yet. And we're going to be talking more about the Ashes of Outland's cards in more detail through some content that we'll create for our patrons and then eventually make public to everyone. We will be doing some card reviews. We're doing a little different this time because we got hit with it so fast. We haven't had a lot of running time.
Right. There was, I mean, they gave us such a short window this time.
I mean, they did the reveal and then had cards. The card reveal season started the next day, and normally it's like a week and a half later the card reveal season starts.
So if you're not currently a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/heropower. You can join our Discord, our patron-only Discord, for as little as $1 a month, and you can also get access to some of these special videos we're getting ready to do, card reviews, for just a little bit more per month. So head on over there, check it out, and I think you'll be happy with what you get. So, all right, moving on from the Imprisoned Demons. As of this week, everybody's getting a free card. A brand new neutral legendary. Kel'Thas Sunstrider. Now, we joked a couple episodes ago when the Year of the Phoenix kind of got leaked that, hey, maybe we'll see Kel'Thas. We didn't expect to see him this soon.
No, and we didn't expect him to see him as a free card. And we saw people... So this came out as part of patch 16.6 that came out on the 17th. So, like, the next day after the reveal, the reveal stream. Mm-hmm. So people started putting this card right into their decks. And so far, he's not overpowered. He's not quite a Vargoth.
Have you seen the most recent Trollden video that came out, I think, yesterday?
No, did they...
Holy crap, some of the Kel'Thas Sunstrider stuff that's happening is ridiculous.
So, I've seen some of them get pulled off, and they're big, and, you can do like a Cyclone-style mage that lets you get 2 Pyro Blasts free off on 1 turn, as well as some other incremental damage. But ultimately, it's, maybe 5% of games go that way. So, it's not totally overpowered, but the new set's coming out. Maybe something gets printed with it that makes him more powerful.
You need to rewatch it, but you need to rewatch that video, because even Kibler says this is ridiculous, and it's setting a whole new meta for Mage.
So far, the only class I've seen it be successful in is Mage.
Yeah.
And Regis Kilbin has tried it in multiple classes, and he's not convinced that it's good. But
Yeah.
then again, let me check out this trolling
Kibler
video.
stated, and I quote, there should be no such thing as a spell mage anymore. It should now be called minionless mage because Kel'Thas is so broken. So,
Well, Kibler was right about the original Paladin quest. So, wait, no.
well played, sir. Well played.
Sorry about that.
So, moving along, there will be a tavern pass available for $19.99 or 2,500 gold.
Yes.
Zerotio, tell us a little bit more about this tavern pass.
So the tavern pass it's a new type of battleground perk that we saw last year when they came out with Battlegrounds, and the new set came out with Descent of Dragons. And if you pre-ordered Descent of Dragons, you got a lot of extra bonuses in Battlegrounds where you got to pick from an extra hero, you got emotes, you got to see extra statistics, and a lot of people really didn't like that because they were like, I had to pre-order it, or I think at the time it unlocked when you had 10 packs purchased. So a lot of people did not think it was fair and did not like it. But I didn't hate it too much. So what the Tavern Pass includes is you get 4 arena tickets, which is new. You get Battlegrounds advanced stats, Battlegrounds visual emotes, and 3 or 4 hero choices. Now, what that means is if you currently have the Battleground bonus stats and you pick from 3 heroes, you'll be able to pick from 4. But if you haven't unlocked those yet and you still only pick from 2, you'll then be able to pick from 3 if you get this pass. And then you'll have early access to new Battlegrounds heroes which have not been released yet. So there is one that's coming out, Illidan, and I believe he'll be part of this pass. So you won't be able to play with Illidan in Battlegrounds unless you get this pass. And that's presumably they didn't say that officially, but it's new heroes like that. Now, it's $19.99 US dollars or 2,500 gold. So if you're primarily a Battlegrounds player, you do earn 10 gold per win. So you might be getting gold that you're not using on packs. Maybe you don't play standard or arena at all. So it shouldn't be too far-fetched to get 2,500 gold, even if you just do your dailies occasionally, to get that gold. So it's nice that it's purchasable with in-game currency. Mm-hmm. So you can get it with playtime. So that's a positive change that they did. The next thing is the bundles have come out. So there are 2 bundles. The first one is the Ashes of Outland Mega Bundle, which is $79.99 US dollars. And it comes with the Ashes of Outland card back, a Lady Vosh Shaman hero, a random golden legendary, 90 packs, and the Battleground perks with 4 arena tickets. So it comes with the Tavern Pass as part of the bundle. So if you get the $80 Mega Bundle, you'll get that as well. You don't have to pay the $19.99 or the $2,500. And then the regular Ashes of Outland bundle will come with the card back, 55 packs, and a golden legendary from the set, a random golden legendary. So this is a little bit of an improvement. The standard rate is $80 for $80 for 80 packs and $50 for 50 packs. They did inflate that with Descent of Dragons, and I think that was more of a PR recovery because they've had some bad publicity just before then. That's my personal opinion. But this is kind of a nice boost up in the normal pack rate. I think it's definitely worth the money. What do you think?
I agree. I will probably... I don't know. I'm probably only going to pick up the regular bundle this time. With everything that's going on right now, it's a hard time for me to justify dropping $80 even for all that, but I have almost 5,000 gold. So if I get the Outland bundle, that'll put me that'll put me just over 100 packs. And with the changes to the duplication policy, I'm hoping I can pull the majority of the the epics and rares that I need to build the decks I want to play. So
yeah, we kind of only touched on that duplication policy change, but that's going to be huge for people to get these bundles, because you might be able to get one of the bundles, the regular bundle or the mega bundle, and get all of the common, rare, and a majority of the epics, because you're not going to have all this extra dust. Now, you won't have a bunch of extra dust to craft with,
right?
But then again, you won't have to be crafting lower rarity cards to fill in those decks that you're getting off HS Replay or whatnot. So it's kind of a tit for tat, and I like that change. It's positive. I'm excited to say I was able to get the mega bundle because I happen to be part of the Regis Kilvin community, and he does a monthly drawing for his subs, and I won. So I got a Battle.net gift card, and with what balance I had left on my Battle.net account, I was able to buy it. So
that's awesome.
That's a positive.
Yeah.
One more thing that's coming in the patch 16.6, and this is the last slide we have today. The rest are just talking points. Is patch 16.6 card changes. They have changed quite a few
now these
cards
are unnerfs.
These are unnerfs. So Raza the Chained is a 5-mana 5/5. Battle Cry, if your deck has no duplicates, your hero power costs 0 this game. It originally was cost 0, and they nerfed it to 1. But now they're reverting it back. Call of the Wild is summoned through all 3 animal companions. It used to be 8, was nerfed to 9. Well, it's going back to 8. Yogg-Saron Hope's End, 10 mana 7/5. Battlecry casts a random spell for each spell you cast this game. Target chosen at random. If it died or was polymorphed or removed from the board in any way, it stopped that effect. Well, now it's going to go back to the way it was, and it will continue casting those spells even if it gets removed from the board. Spiteful Summoner is was a 6-mana 4/4. Reveal a spell from your deck, summon a random minion with the same cost. It got nerfed to 7, and it's back to 6. Lesser Emerald Spellstone, a hunter spell. It was 5 mana, summon 2 3/3 wolves, play a secret to upgrade. It got nerfed to 6. It's going back to 5. And then the only card that's still going to be in standard is a Sludge Slurper. It's a 1 mana 2/1 Murloc for Shaman. Battlecry, add a lackey to your hand, overload 1. It got nerfed to 1/1. It's going back to 2/1. All of these cards are in Wild now, but they will, except for Sludge Slurper, it's in Standard. And these changes are in effect now. So they were actually legal for Masters Tour Bedroom that's happening right now. Yeah. But I don't think there were any Shaman players.
I don't remember hearing about any. So,
and that's all we have for the slides. But we'll go on to the rest of the patch 16.6 changes. They've implemented multiple battleground changes, and most of these are new heroes and changes to existing minions. We're not really a battleground podcast for the most part, so we will leave it to those guys to go into a lot of the detail. But the links will be in the show notes. There's lots and lots of battlegrounds changes. Just to highlight one, my favorite's Pyramid got changed to +4 health. And he is super strong now, in my opinion. I've won so many games with him. Is there anything in the battlegrounds that you've seen that's really stood out that you've liked?
I mean, not recently that we haven't talked about already. I've been enjoying the most recent changes, with dragons and everything. It's just been a lot of fun. We actually got to do some queue in together battlegrounds recently, and of course the way our luck has always run, even back when we used to play Magic tournaments, is we get paired up against each other almost immediately.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think the very first one we did, very first round, we got matched against each other, and then we fought again 3 rounds later. I was like, great,
yeah,
just
yeah.
what we needed. We ended up like every 3 rounds fighting each other. So they did release in 16.6 some future changes that are going to be coming with the March 26th patch, which is just this coming Thursday. Dr. Boom Mad Genius was nerfed from 7 mana to 9 mana. He's going back to 7. Now he'll be rotating to Wild. I think that the rotation happens on the 7th. So you have a few days that Mad Genius will be 7 and legal in Standard.
Yeah.
Giggling Inventor was 6 cost. They nerfed to 7. It's going back to 6. Raiding Party was 3. Now it costs 4. It's going back to 3 mana. Reckless Experimenter had the caveat added that it can't be reduced below 1, but with the echo changes, it's no longer needed. That they did a couple months ago. So it's going to have that removed. Card pack changes, Hall of Fame, Priest update, updated returning player experience, and free decks for new and returning players. All of that's going to be coming with your March 26th update. And again, once that March 26th update happens, a week later, you're going to get the new prologue that comes out. And then less than a week after that's the new set. So a lot of changes for Hearthstone coming up. And then Illidan Stormrage enters a battleground on March the 26th. And he's going to be a Battlegrounds hero.
I love his ability.
Has the passive ability called Wingmen. Start of combat, your left and rightmost minions attack immediately. Now, I don't know if they attack immediately and then your normal left to right, including those minions, happens or what. I'm really excited to see how that goes. And again, I assume Illidan Stormrage will be available for everybody, but the way the pass reads, it might be limited to people with the pass. Mm-hmm. Again, the pass can be purchased for $2,500 or comes with the mega bundle.
Yeah. All right. That brings us to this week's Tavern Brawl, which is 3 wishes. Zephyrus has blessed you with a random deck and 2 wishes, and no wishing for more wishes. So this is
it's 3 wishes.
3 wishes. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a previous brawl. This is a repeat. Mm-hmm. You'll start the game with a wish in your hand, and you'll wish for the perfect card, and then it'll put wish number 2 in your deck. And then when you draw it, you can play it, and it'll put wish number 3 in your deck. And then when you draw it, you're out. But I've done about 4 or 5 of these Tavern Brawls already this week, and I've not made it past wish 2 because I usually win before then. I love this Tavern Brawl.
This is a fun one. I enjoy it, but there's so much new stuff coming out, and with the Battlegrounds and stuff, I just don't find myself in the Tavern Brawl as much unless it's something brand new. So I'm really I like that it's a stale Tavern Brawl because that means they're working on new stuff, and obviously the new stuff is big this time.
Yeah,
it's obvious. I'm excited. I don't know about you, man. I'm
very much looking forward to Ashes of Outland and what all and the Demon Hunter class, which we're going to talk about more in depth next week, and just everything Team 5 has lined up for Hearthstone in 2020.
So real quick before we give our closing and end out the show, I want to give just a quick breakdown of how the next couple weeks are going to go by for both content and the show coming out. So on the 26th, which is this coming Thursday, there's going to be a big patch coming out with a lot of new kind of details and card changes, getting ready for the Year of the Phoenix official launch. then this weekend, or the following weekend, a week from today, we'll record our live show. Next week there'll be no play portion. We're going to have a breakdown of all the basic and initiate cards for Demon Hunter and go into more depth on our thoughts specifically on the Demon Hunter class and which direction we think it's going to go. The following week on the 2nd will be the prologue for the Demon Hunter class, where everybody can get in, play as Illidan, and unlock the ability to use Demon Hunter cards when the Year of the Phoenix officially starts on April the 7th. That weekend we will have all of the card information for Ashes of Outland, and I believe we're doing our own respective firesides, right, for pre-release.
Yes, so if you guys haven't heard, Blizzard has canceled all public firesides coming up due to the existing COVID-19 pandemic. So they are going to allow for the creation of private pre-release events, but you cannot schedule a public pre-release. That ability will not be available. So for innkeepers who in the past have always run a pre-release, you will not be able to do one publicly. You can schedule one privately. But anybody can schedule a private pre-release as long as it's within the time frame, and I believe that time frame is April the 2nd through the 5th. That weekend, you should be able to schedule it, and that will allow you to open your packs. Kind of check it. You'll be able to play through the Demon Hunter class stuff and get a feel for it before everything goes live on the following Tuesday. So
yep. Now we don't know exactly. We haven't found out the exact limitations of what you'll be able to do for the fireside, so we're not sure how that weekend's show will go. But we will definitely be talking about the new set, and we might not have a play portion that week, just because there may not be anything worth playing. But then that following week, our patrons should start getting some, content from us of our reviews of the new set. And then obviously April the 7th, the new set will go live. I know I will probably try to stream a little bit of content for that, depending on the current situation of the COVID-19 pandemic and whether I'll be home, semi-permanently from work or not. But we have a lot of good content coming out for Hearthstone as well as for the Hero Power podcast. So I'm excited to enjoy this with all of our listeners and viewers. Yeah. And it's just a good time for Hearthstone.
Yep. Very much looking forward to it. So, all right, gang. Well, I believe that is going to do it for us this week. We want to thank everybody for joining us live in our chat, and for all of you listening at home. We do this for you guys. We greatly appreciate it. If you have questions or comments about Ashes of Outland or any of the new things that are coming, feel free to send those questions or comments over to us at heropowerpodcast@gmail.com. Hit that subscribe button below on YouTube if you've not done so, or give us a follow on Twitch to be alerted when we go live. And if you are interested in checking out our patron-only card reviews, head over to patreon.com/heropower. And we'll see you all again next week.
And don't forget to use your hero power for 1 minute to punch them in the face.